why does this process, without necessarily sometimes always a locked script, where you're filming sequences before you even know where they are, why does it work for Mission where all these blockbusters collapse underneath?
We never stop. We never give up. We are very honest with each other about what we're doing while we're doing it. You're constantly evaluating. You shoot a scene, you shoot a line of dialogue, you shoot one actor's coverage in a scene, and you step back from it and you look at it and say, never mind what I meant to say, what did I actually say?
Right.
What did we communicate? And we either alter it to get the result we're after, or we go with what is clearly more organic and working for the story. We don't write roles and then go looking for an actor to play that role. We cast actors and we tailor the role to them. And that's why when someone came up to me after watching one of the earlier cuts of the movie and said, God, everyone in the film is so perfectly cast. Well, yes, if you write a role specifically for that actor, then they will be perfectly cast every time.
Yeah.
That's not something where we go in knowing what we want, beyond knowing that we want to have affinity for that character.
Right.
We want that character to have power. We want that character to be likable, even if that character is unlikable. We want to like not liking that character. And the big stuff, the submarine and the aerial and all of that, we're very, very, very specific and very rigid in terms of our planning of those sequences and developing that technology. So the assets, the things that are really expensive, are first the assets and then the time that it takes to shoot them.
But you're malleable in where they even end up. Correct me if I'm wrong. Some of your biggest sequences were intended at the beginning of one film and end up in the middle of another.
Yes.
That's just, I mean, it's insane to me. It works.
You just can't panic. You have to be able to pivot, and you have to know, how do you do it responsibly? You can't be cavalier about it. You can't, I know the outside impression must be that, oh, they just give them whatever they want, and they do whatever they want. No. And, you know, any more than, not that I am comparing myself to him as a filmmaker, Stanley Kubrick, the way Stanley Kubrick had the control that he did is he was actually extremely frugal.
Right.
He shot his movies quite cheaply.
Yeah.
Everybody, the myth becomes that, oh, he had this amazing deal, he could do whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
Stanley Kubrick understood that if you kept doing what you wanted and your movies didn't make money, you were not going to get money to make another movie, even if you were Stanley Kubrick.
And I think what he wisely spent money on often was time.
That is exactly right. Stanley Kubrick understood how to save money everywhere else so that he could buy himself the time. What Tom and I recognize in our process is, the bigger the movie is, the more it has to make.
Right.
And the more people it has to reach, the more universally accessible the movie must be, globally accessible the movie must be. However, we're also not compromising on the stuff that we consider to be the substance of the movie.
Sure.
Which is where you're feeling the narrative tension in these movies. You're feeling the push and the pull between exposition and action, between emotion and spectacle, and how those things are fighting with each other, and that's what leads to the kind of unique tone that this franchise has.